Howdy folks, it's Ajo the Hunting Gear Guy, and this is the Streamlight TLR 1HL. I'm pretty sure the HL is for high lumens, it's their high output version. They have another one that's 300 lumens, and then they've got this one, and the power rating on these ones have changed over the years. So at one point it was 600 lumens, then 800, then 1000. I don't know which one this is. They don't really have an easy way to tell between the different generations, I guess. When I compare it against my 1000 lumen Claris flashlight, they look pretty close. So it's either the 1000 or the 800. I'm not quite sure. But anyways, their high output version. And this is just a standard gun light, just a gun light that would go on a handgun, or you could put it on a rifle, I guess. But this one really is like, I think, in its element on a handgun. With a Glock 17 or something like that, you're going to be chopped off right about there, and this little bit's going to be extending past the muzzle, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But on a Glock 34 or a larger handgun, you can see that it's a little bit more flush, so pretty nice from that perspective. Before we start manipulating this thing, our mag's empty, our chamber's empty, so this is not a live gun. Now, one of the coolest things about this light is how easy it is to use and the positioning of it. So I have regular sized hands. This is using the large back strap on this Glock here, and I'm still very easily able to reach up to that switch up there. Pushing down on the right hand side is just switched on, and pushing up is momentary on, and if you double click the up, it will strobe it. So pretty easy to use from that point of view. And if you were wrong-handed, same thing, but in reverse. Kick it up and it goes on, kick it down and it's a momentary. And you can get a strobe on like that just by pressing it down first and then up. So very easy to use, I guess. Realistically, if you were to use this in a situation where you needed light, you'd flick it on, and that's all you would need to do. Now, one of the cool things... Wait, what is that? I've got a map. All right. Let's see where this takes us. It's dazzling her. She doesn't know what to do. Oh, she knows to run. Warm, whatever. Sorry, as I was saying, one of the cool things about this light is how easy it is to take on and off again. This screw on the side here, it's made for a coin. I don't really know if I like that it's made for a coin, because coins are kind of going away. I can find a flathead screwdriver, but this isn't really made for a flathead screwdriver. It's made for a coin. But in any case, you don't really need it to be tight. You can tighten it on if you don't want it to like move at all, but you can just finger loosen it. It's still on that gun, but if I want to take it off, all I do is press that in and pull it off, and it just very easily comes off. So you can see there that pushing that in just moves that bit of the rail out of the way. So you match up that little key there with your Glock slide bit there, and it just kind of snaps on. It's super easy to take on and off. Very quick, a little bit hard to see with the light in my face like this, but very easy to pull on. It's a little bit loose right now, so if you tighten this down finger tight, not moving now. So that's how I think most people would have it, is just kind of finger tight or coin tight. You don't need to like crank it on. And actually having it finger tight, the advantage there is if you need to, you can just loosen it and then pop it off. So that becomes very easy to do, and something that you can do if you need to pull the light off, for example. So just taking a look at the light itself, there's a couple of interesting features that I think help justify the price a little bit. Because again, $150 to $200 for a 1000 lumen flashlight, not particularly value for dollar by any means. But you are buying like something that's been well tested. It's got a good track record with it and that kind of thing. So that's at least my justification for buying one of these. So a couple of interesting things. One being that latch. So if you just leave it out like that, it becomes very easy to pull on or off. And if you screw it in, it's not going to come off. The next is how they go onto your rail. You see that GL bit that's here? That's an insert, and they've got a bunch of ones that come with the light. So you can swap from like a Glock to a Beretta to a Picatinny rail, that kind of thing. A lot of guns use this Glock style cut though, where it's just like the single one a little bit further up. For example, my CZ Shadow, this works just perfect as it is on the CZ Shadow. Sorry, Shadow 2. which is kind of interesting. Here we can see those tail lights, and this is actually all part of a tail assembly. And you get into it by taking this little lever here, flipping that over, and you can see that's kind of holding on to the tension here. And then we can pull that off, and we can see the battery compartment and all that kind of stuff. So it's all just kind of flipping in there. Now, some people have reported this part breaking off. At least I saw a couple online. And when you look at it, I mean, there are some like thin metal pieces that could break if you were a little bit abusive with it, I guess. But the rest of this thing looks pretty durable, pretty heavy duty in terms of like what you can do to it. I'm not going to damage it a bunch because I kind of want to use it. But again, these are super popular with police and whatnot, so they are getting put through their paces. Now, one thing I will say, it's kind of a bulky light. Like it's kind of large when you think about it and what it's doing, and that's partially because of the batteries that they chose to use with these things. So you can see how wide that thing is. And that's because they're using two of these CR123 batteries. Kind of a bit of an odd battery to use, but they fit really well in here, and they're what every other a gun light uses, such as like the Surefires and that kind of thing. So to stick it back on our gun, we just match up the notch there with the one on here, and just kind of lever it on from the side. It's on there, and if we screw in that screw, it's not moving. Now you can buy some other external switches on there. They make one that kind of attaches to the tail piece here and then goes down along here and has a little button there. If you have like midget fingers, that would be great. If you've got just like regular size hands, I would just use these just because it's simple and there's less stuff in the way over here, because I like to run like a nice tight grip, and I feel that having a button there would be distracting. It would get in the way, whereas I can just go like that very easily with this one. So should you get the Streamlight TLR 1 HL? Well, it really depends on what you're trying to do. If you want a gun light that has a name brand associated with it and has some durability and some warranty and all that kind of stuff kind of assumed, it's decent, especially for the price. It is about half the price of the Surefire X300 UA, which is its nearest, like in terms of performance, batteries used, size, all that kind of stuff. But it's half the price. And like I was thinking about getting one of the eBay versions of these, and I might still do a test where I compare this versus one of the eBay versions. But I think for something as critical as I need a light to work, and I need it to work all the time, I'm not sure if I would go for an eBay version of light on there. It's kind of like getting like a really nice home defense gun and then running the crappiest offshore made bullets and that kind of thing. So I don't know if I would do that. I think that this definitely has a niche in terms of a decent light for the money. These batteries are, as much as I complain about them, they've got some decent juice to them, especially compared to like the Olights and that kind of thing. Still aren't at the point that these ones are, because these are using one-time use lithiums. And I think that's it. Yeah, decent price for performance and a decent brand behind it. Thanks for watching.